boy Mad Mike coming at you guys yet another video. So, want to give you guys an update on the Atlanta Falcons Nation and AFN International show comes on today with our brother from another Matherin, Will the Thrill. Is going to give the very first show today, 3:30. It's going to be 3:30. Okay, let me say this again: 3:30 our time, Eastern Standard Time on AFN International. It's going to be on AFN as well. But show our brother some love over there. Like I said, AFN International getting that kicked off today. What's going on, Georgia, Texas, boy? We got AFN International Will the Thrill. He has a guest on today as well. And like I said, man, we're definitely expanding. We're gonna do a lot of things. I mean, I wanted to come on in and give you guys the update on there. I will field a few questions for about 15 minutes or so if you want my take on something. But show AFN International, all of this would well, we got people from all over, but right now Will is in Scotland. Okay, Scotland. Hey, Will the Thrill, William Waddell is in Scotland. So we are in AFN. Look, we looking to do Germany and everywhere. All right, we do. They do have a Atlanta Falcons Germany podcast. Also, Maurice Martin and Millie Mills. What's going on, fellas? But like I said, we got AFN International show is coming on at 3:30. Okay, show our brother William Waddell, the Scottish lunatic. Okay, yes, he is a lunatic. Yeah, look, we've been kind of trying to get this started for quite some time, and right now it's the perfect time. Will got a lot of stuff kind of squared away. Like I said, this has literally been about a 2-year journey to kind of get this started with Will. Like I said, Will is a great guy, play ball himself. He showed me his rings and whatnot. So he did had the pleasure of winning the championship over there. But like I said, AFN International, I will have that in the comments as well. But let me know how you guys think. AFN, if you have not subscribed to AFN International, Atlanta Falcons Nation International, like I said, we got that started. And like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on, but that's one of the things that we got going on. We're gonna have William's gonna have a lot of guests on it. Sonya, how you doing, lady? Can't wait to see you when we go to the yeah, you better come. All right, can't wait to see you when we go to the training camp. So if anybody's going to the training camp on the 26th, let us know. Be able to meet up. Like I said, make sure all y'all devices and whatnot are is charged, and you have multiple devices, so when you get out there, we can text or whatever the case may be and meet up. So can't wait for that. But like I said, AFN International, you're gonna kind of get a little taste of what that's going to be like for the season for the most part. Like I said, William, you've seen him on all of our shows, AFN. You've seen him on a lot of our shows, the originators, the end games. You've seen him on the heavy hitters with myself, Jew. So Will has been, look, that's our brother. Like I said, I would truly appreciate if y'all just accept him like we've accepted him like a brother. Like I said, the man is very knowledgeable in the game. Funny as hell too. Funny as hell. Very entertaining. And like most Scots, they love to fight and they love to drink. All right. So if y'all want to come over, make sure you go to AFN International, pour you a drink, sit down with Will, and y'all have a nice ale. King Richie. Hey, Rich. Hey, another thing, y'all. Just show Rich some love too, man, because Rich put out, if you have not heard the intro to AFN, Rich, that's him. So shout out to King Richie, man. Being able to show out. This is what we do to try to help a lot of artists, entertainers, put out their stuff. So you got some things out there. Your shit whack now. We ain't putting that bullshit on our channel. All right, that ain't happen. But y'all know, if you know you got some good shit, all right, if you know you got some good shit that you may want to, get a little bit more spotlight on, just let us know. All right, don't bring us no whack ass shit. You know that shit was produced in a goddamn elementary school. Don't bring that bullshit over here. But Rich, like I said, Rich, he's the one. King Rich is the one that the pull out, and I'm not talking about sex, y'all. Pull up, pull out, pull up, pull out. That's Rich with the AFN intro. So me go. Whoever goes to camp, give Kurt a big fuck you. Oh, don't worry about that. See, last time I could have got kicked out of training camp because I kind of interrupted 92.9 the game segment during the show. So I'm gonna try to behave this time. I'm gonna try to behave. 92.9 the game was going live, and he got mad at they got mad at me for showing up on their set. I ain't give a damn, but that's a whole nother situation. So I'm trying to go to training camp and not try not to get kicked out. I did have fun with a couple of cheerleaders there. Brian people was going on. But no, I'm not gonna say fuck you to Kirk Cousins because I want to stay there because we supposed to have a meeting there. We go out, get something to eat, get a drink or whatnot at a restaurant around there. So if y'all just want to come out and to the training camp and go to a spot, a restaurant, we'll pick a restaurant where we're gonna go and we sit down, have dinner, have lunch, or whatever the case may be. Floyd Dunley, what's going on? Y'all, Floyd been on that bullshit, y'all. Floyd thought I was gonna let this shit go. Floyd, I ain't letting shit go. All right, Floyd up here talking about this motherfucker said Cole Kmet better than Kyle Pitts. Boy, stop. Cole Kmet ain't better no damn Kyle Pitts. You have lost your damn mind, Floyd. Cole Kmet, please. The same Cole Kmet that couldn't even, you know what? I ain't even gonna go there. But that's a whole nother situation. Talking about some damn Cole Kmet better than Kyle Pitts. Man, please. He the only target on that team and he still don't have 100 catches in the season. How is that? How is Cole Kmet better than Kyle Pitts and he not had one Pro Bowl? Cole Kmet ain't been to no Pro Bowl. How is that? This man barely has more. Look, this man, Kyle Pitts, missed damn near half this season, more than half of the season, and he still got more receiving yards than Cole Kmet. But somehow he believes that Cole Kmet is better than Kyle Pitts. Y'all will come up with anything. I don't recall Cole Kmet actually winning and having I think he was like less than 100 or so yards of breaking an NFL record and tight ends yards in a season, but Cole Kmet is supposed to be better than Kyle Pitts. Like, we gotta stop. We gotta stop, y'all. You look, I'll hit Mills with this bullshit talking about in terms of fantasy points he is. Yeah, he didn't got 15 motherfuckers. Look, this is why I got a major problem with people saying that Kyle Pitts suck. Who on that other roster with the Chicago Bears that he have to share the load with? Huh? a damn about you speaking your mind, but you gonna get your ass smoked. If I think it's stupid, you get smoked. Before, don't try to act brand new. Now you want to get in your feelings because your opinions are getting smoked. Everybody's opinions get smoked, including mine. That don't make you, look, don't get in your feelings because your opinion getting smoked now. Y'all know how we do it over here. You don't like it, bye. Like, come on. Yeah, okay, I'm glad you said that. DJ Moore. So how many players on this Falcon team that have had 1,000 yards? I'm asking. This is the question I'm asking. This is why I think everybody full of shit with Kyle Pitts. So he only had to share the ball really with DJ Moore, right? Because I'm about to prove why that cold commit shit. What's going on? Why this cold commit shit and anybody that try to degrade Kyle Pitts is absolute horseshit. Because even he said Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. Rome Odunze, bro. Keenan Allen. Nah, that. Look, don't talk about this year. This year ain't even happened yet. You want to bring up that bullshit. You talk about now. He want to bring up some shit now. This year ain't even fucking started yet. D-Woo, what's going on? How you doing, sir? And again, AFN International. Nah, I'm not getting kicked out of Flowery Branch. Like I said, it was a close call last time because I bombarded 92-9 the game. They look like they wanted to. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But you want to say Cole Kmet? He was the main target on that offense, and he still couldn't get 100 catches. He still couldn't get 1,000 yards, even though he was the main target for the most part on that Chicago offense. See, this is why I'm about to pull y'all bullshit hater ass card, and it's probably not even hate. The thing is, y'all misinformed. Y'all listen to this bullshit over and over again because the media told y'all that he was some unicorn and he not putting up unicorn numbers, and now y'all mad at him and calling him a bust. It's the crazy part that Kyle Pitts right now, guys like Algie Crumpler, Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez had what? 4 years, I believe it was. 4 to 5 years from 2000. I forget when we got, but Tony Gonzalez had 4,100 yards as a tight end with the Atlanta Falcons. Algie Crumpler has been with the Atlanta Falcons for 6 to 8 years, somewhere in there. Okay, and both of those guys are less than 2,000. And we talk about less than about 2,000 yards more than Kyle Pitts. This dude is already the 4th all-time tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, ahead of Austin Hooper. Already. That's where he is at this point. Already. In 4 years, he's accomplished that. In 4 years, he holds the record for the Atlanta Falcons for the most yards in franchise history over even Tony Gonzalez. He holds that record. Even the great Tony Gonzalez doesn't hold the record for the most yards from a tight end in this franchise history. But we want to say Cole Kmet better than him. Cole Kmet, y'all. So back to what I was saying about this Atlanta Falcon team, and you look at a lot of these tight ends, who did Kyle Pitts have that he has to compete with when in terms of targets? He got Bijan Robinson, who's going to get the ball anywhere from 20 to 30 touches a game. You got Tyler Algier, who's going to get anywhere from 5 to 10 touches. from a running back, depending on how the game is going. Gonna get 5 to 10 touches, sometime lower than 5, depending on how Bijan is going, how the offense is going. But those are two guys right off the bat that have accomplished having 1,000 yards. Then you got Darnell Mooney, who was like 7 yards, 6 yards away from becoming a 1,000-yard receiver. You got Ray McCloud, who had about 700-800 yards of receiving. That's 4. Then you got Drake London, who had 1,200. Those are 5 guys right there. 5 guys right off the bat. 5 guys that this guy has had, that he has on the offense, that he has to share the ball with. How many other teams that you can say that have 5 guys, 5 other guys that they have to share the load with? This is the reason why we got to look at Kyle Pitts for what he is. Stop trying to put these superhero, superhuman expectations on him, because if you look at what he is, he's doing his job. That's why I don't understand what the buzz. Oh, he's a bum, he's a buzz, and this guy's better than him. And well, you think Cole Kmet would be the 5th? You think Cole Kmet would come to this Atlanta Falcons team and immediately be better than what Kyle? No, he wouldn't. Not many tight ends that would be able to come in, run the same routes that Kyle Pitts runs, and be successful at what Kyle Pitts does. Cole Kmet doesn't run the same routes that Kyle Pitts runs. He's not asked to do the same thing that Kyle Pitts has done. Kyle Pitts is expected to be the big play guy on his offense. That's what we expect him to do. So it's unfair to a guy like Kyle Pitts, who had to share the ball with Bijan, Drake London, Darnell Mooney. Those 3 guys right there. The offensive coordinator is going to call plays for Bijan Robinson before they call a play for Kyle Pitts. Am I wrong there, y'all? I just want to know, am I wrong there? Y'all don't think that Bijan Robinson, Drake London, those guys are going to get called? I'm just saying. So all this nonsense and crazy stuff about Kyle Pitts being a bad guy, or he's not living up to your expectations, well, maybe your problem is the expectations. Is it really Kyle Pitts that has the problem? Maybe that's the issue. And maybe as fans, we need to be honest about what the expectations are. Because somebody not going to get the ball. If you don't want Kyle Pitts to be a bust, well, somebody ain't going to get the ball. Somebody got to go. It's not enough targets to go around if we want Kyle Pitts to be the center of attention. That means Tyler Algier got to go. That means Darnell Mooney got to go. If we want Kyle Pitts to live up to those expectations, we got to be honest and say, all right, I want Kyle Pitts to be that unicorn. I want him to be the center of attention. Well, somebody got to go. Who are you willing to get rid of? Because I don't think people are willing to talk. I don't think people are willing to talk about that. They just want to see. They just want to say he's not living up to the expectations. But if you got 2 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers, 3 playmakers, Mooney, Drake, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, somebody ain't getting the ball. Hooper was here from 16 to 19. Pitts has been, I mean, as of right now, Dabo spent 4 years with the team. He don't even play enough snaps because of the dumbass coaching. Well, if we're talking commit Pitts, same situation, more Allen. No, it's not the same situation because those guys weren't there. Not the same situation because they don't have a running back like Bijan Robinson. It's not the same. They don't have a consistent running game. It's not the same because look, because you still with Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson gonna give you anywhere from 100 to 150 extra possessions. Okay, Bijan Robinson, because the running game is the top tier running game for the Atlanta Falcons, because he's so good, because the offense is a top 10, a running back is going to give you anywhere from 100 and 150 more possessions than other teams that aren't successful by extending the clock, extending the drives. So Bijan Robinson being on his team is going to give guys more targets. So if your offense is not a great offense, then those numbers are going to get short. They're going to get smaller. Furthermore, on top of that, if Bijan Robinson and that offense is consistent, are you just going to stop? Are you going to stop running the ball? No, you're not. You're going to keep feeding Bijan Robinson. So what happens is, if you're going to keep feeding Bijan Robinson, that means a tight end, for the most part, or a wide receiver is not going to touch the ball. So somebody has to block. Do we want our wide receivers blocking or do we want our tight ends blocking? Well, we want our tight ends. So that's going to take away from Kyle Pitts' numbers on top of it. So the thing is, what a lot of fans don't understand, if you want Kyle Pitts, his number to improve, well, that means we got to stop running the ball as much. Do y'all want the Falcons just to stop running the ball in order to get him more touches? Or you just want to run the ball and Kyle Pitts get anywhere from 45 to 60 catches a year? We have a solid run game, and Kyle Pitts just stick with those numbers because it him being successful and Bijan Robinson running the ball, it gives him more opportunity to be more of a threat to the defense, because now all he got to do is, because they're going to have 8 to 9 men in the box, which is going to leave a lot of one-on-one opportunities and big play opportunities. So I would much rather have Kyle Pitts here. They're going to give us 40 catches, around 12 to 15 yards, than a bunch of targets where he got like 90 catches for 900 yards. I'd rather have big play. I'd rather have big play with Kyle Pitts than a bunch of numbers, to be honest. And it's not the same. Like I said, it's not the same. Falcons have more people to feed. And the Bears did not have that to feed like that. So Cole Kmet got a lot of catches based on them not having a lot of weapons offensively. Now you're looking at the Bears now, they got more weapons, but prior to that they didn't. So you can't say, all right, they got this, it's the same situation when this is the first year these guys have been together like that. They haven't even begun yet, the Bears. $66 in yards. and 62nd in touchdowns. Again, like y'all keep bringing up stats. See, this is why you got to take stats in context. Let's go back to what I was saying. If you're the only target on the team, your numbers are going to be up. We saw this in the first year with Kyle Pitts when he was the primary guy offensively. He had over 100 targets. And he caught the ball for about 60, 70 yards. 60 to, I think it was like 66 receptions out of 100 and some targets. Because he was the number one target. So the targets are going to go up. The receptions are going to go up. The yards are going to go up because you're the main source of offense. But when you aren't the main source of offense, you got a Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Darnell Mooney, and Drake London, your targets are not going to be as much. Your receptions are not going to be as much. But what offensive coordinator do is try to, when he's targeted, the big plays. So I want quality over quantity. Now, if you are the type of fan that want quantity over quality, then I understand your point. But this is just because he's the 4th overall doesn't necessarily mean he has to have quantity over quality. I just seen more grit out of Pitts than would be cool with him, homie. He just seems soft to me to be 6'6", 250. Well, this is people. I don't know if you play football, but y'all can say whatever y'all want, but ain't nothing soft about playing in them trenches. I love the fact that people only hang on to the good moments, to the bad moments, and ignore the good moments of Kyle Pitts. What about when Bijan Robinson breaks out for these big, long runs? Who's the tight end? Oftentimes is him and Charlie Warner that's in those trenches. Nobody brings up the fact that when Bijan Robinson, this guy was a 1,300-yard rusher. This guy was a 1,300-yard rusher. Nobody brought up the fact that somebody had to block or Kyle Pitts was blocking. But soon as he make a mistake or he miss a chip or he missed this guy, he whiff on this guy, oh, it's highlighted. I can literally put together fucking highlights in a game and give it to y'all. If y'all want it, follow me on Instagram and just DM me and I will put it together for you to prove this point. Everybody is so blind by the media and these analysts that try to paint the picture that Kyle Pitts is trash. When was the last time people put together a highlight clip of his success? It's always y'all want to look at, oh, he's the 4th guy. He's the 4th overall pick. He doesn't have 100 catches in the season, or he don't have 10 touchdowns. Where are the highlights? Where are the good plays? He had 600 yards, 45 plus receptions. Where is that? Where is anybody highlighting that? But as soon as this dude does something y'all don't like, or he presumed to be lacking or being lazy on the play, everybody highlight those 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 plays in a season. And he's labeled a bum, or he's not good enough because he's 6'6", or he's not tough enough because he's 6'6", 250. No. Look, you said word for word, Millie Mills. Okay, let me pull up what you said. Okay, I'm pulling up what you said, so I don't get nothing I don't want to get nothing misconstrued because I'm gonna put the highlight reel together. It's funny that when we talk about Kyle Pitts, everybody talking about fantasy points and shit. You said verbatim, dude is 6'6", 250, and he seems soft to me. Your words. Millie, you said this. You said he's 6'6", 250, and he seems soft to you. And then say not in the trenches. I respect the fact he's willing to get in there and get dirty. It's on his routes. So, again, how many quarterbacks had this guy had? How many consistent quarterbacks had this guy had in his career? He had one consistent quarterback, and that was Matt Ryan. Ironically, he had that guy. He's had Marcus Mariota, Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ridder. All those guys are average, and that's average at best. We don't want to take that into account. We want to just say, oh, he's soft because he's 6'6", and you want to see you want to see a guy. You can't look. One thing about the NFL game and route running, you can't even push guys off now. Unless you Mike Evans, they won't even allow tight ends and wide receivers to push off like that anymore. They calling that shit like crazy now. Does he need to be more consistent? Absolutely. But don't sit up here and pretend and tell me that he's soft when he's literally playing in the trenches. And one of the main causes of this team and its running game, you can't have 1,300, and I'm talking about over 1,700 yards in rushing from this team and say Kyle Pitts is soft. Playing in them trenches ain't nothing soft about playing in them trenches. Whether it's route running, you being a tight end or blocking, ain't nothing soft about that. You got guys that are better than other guys, and Charlie Warner is a way better blocker, but that's his game. But to say that Kyle Pitts hasn't gotten better as a blocker, say that he isn't a big threat, is absolutely insane. The problem is the Falcons have a lot of weapons that you can't neglect. You can't neglect Drake. You can't neglect Tyler. You can't neglect Bijan Robinson. You can't neglect Mooney. That's the problem. So when he's not getting the ball enough because of these guys, that's the real reason why he's not getting the targets, and that's why he's not quote unquote seeming like he wants it. Because look, he knows for the most part the game got to go through the running game. This is how the Falcons offense is. It's built to run the ball first with Bijan Robinson. That's why we drafted in the beginning, and to use play action. And we got to see what Brock Bowers like. It's about consistency. Brock Bowers, yeah, I think he's an elite tight end talent. But even him, he has his deficiencies. He's not a great route runner as people thought he was. Very good. He knows how to use his physicality. Great catcher. All of that. But he has his deficiencies, and people saw that this year. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that he doesn't have a lot of space to work with. He got a lot of targets because Brock Bowers got a lot of targets on that team because they really don't have another wide receiver. So we don't know, like Georgia Texas boy said, all right, what is Brock Bowers? It's all about consistency. Guys can have a good rookie season and then they turn out like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts was a national fucking treasure in his rookie year, just like Brock Bowers. But guess what happened? The NFL got to him. They started to see what his deficiencies are, and they took advantage of it. We didn't have consistent coaching. We didn't have consistent run game. We didn't have consistent wide receivers. So we don't know what Brock Bowers is going to be. We know what he put up in year one. We know what Kyle Pitts put up in year one. Everybody thought Kyle Pitts was have a Hall of Fame type of career until year two came, and it wasn't the same. But I have a problem with this because everybody just want to put these expectations on guys, and they don't want to bring up the issues at hand. The issues at hand that this offense needs a consistent quarterback. This dude has had 6 quarterbacks at Matt Ryan, Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, Kirk Cousins, and now Michael Penix. And I don't know who said it, but well, he need to start running wide receiver routes. Wide receiver, I don't even look. If you run a certain route well, why would you tell that person to stop? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what the hell are you talking about? He need to stop running wide receiver routes. If that's what he does well, it's just like telling Randy Moss, bro, you run that dig route so good. I need you to stop and run wide receiver route. Well, tight ends run that dig route too. Tony Gonzalez made a lot of money off that same route. He picked up a lot of yards with that same route. So because he's great at running routes, y'all want him to stop running wide receiver routes? How about you get a fucking quarterback and a play designer that's able to get him the ball consistently? We want to do the bullshit. We want to tell Kyle Pitts to stop doing this, but we're not telling the quarterback, hey, I don't give a fuck what happened. You need to get Kyle Pitts that ball. That don't make no fucking sense what you just said. That shit's stupid. What the fuck is a tight end route? You don't think wide receivers run curls? You don't think tight ends and you don't think wide receivers run curls? You don't think wide receivers run slants, dig routes, outs? What the fuck is a tight end route? They all do. But you just said you wanted him to stop running wide receiver routes and run tight end routes. That don't make sense. You need to highlight what the offensive coordinator and the coach is supposed to do, and a quarterback is supposed to do is get the timing route. Don't give a fuck about what his route run, what routes he need to run. You need to be able to put that shit together for everybody. So if Kyle Pitts is good at running these seam routes, dig routes, out routes, and slants, well, the offensive coordinator to say, and the quarterback need to get on the same page and say, look, this is what this guy is good at. We need to highlight that. Because let's be honest, Jerry Rice, he was the master at running them slants and drag routes. He was the master at that. Randy Moss was he was the master at them 9 routes and dig routes. That was his whole career. That's all he ran. Calvin Johnson, the same thing. Them dig routes and them 9 routes. He was a master at that. So we don't tell these guys they need to stop doing what they need to do well. We need to tell the offensive coordinator, the head coach, and the quarterback to find a way to get the ball into those guys' hands. No, that's not. See, now you're just getting in your feelings. Now you're just being stupid, Floyd. You want guys to stop what they doing well in order to fit in the offense. No. If that guy and the quarterback, if they don't get on the same page as the offensive coordinator doesn't get on the same page, none of this matters. This is what I was talking about route running. People think route running is about coming out of your breaks the fastest and getting it. That's not what route running is about. Because we just told, look, it's 2 guys in the NFL, 3 guys in the NFL, 4 guys in the NFL. Right, not even right now. Hines Ward, that dude was about a 4'6", 4'7" when he was with the Steelers. He wasn't fast with a fuck. Anybody know and seen Hines Ward, that dude was not fast at all. He ran the same route over and over and over again. But he had so much chemistry with the quarterback, and he was able to learn how to sit in spots. The art of route running is not about getting out of your break, running this fast, or running this quick and all that. It's able to understand the quarterback, the relationship with the quarterback, and the passing game and the timing. That's what route running is all about. It's about the art of timing. Do you have to have certain speed in order to run the same routes? No. You just got to understand positioning, and be able to read the defense. For example, zones. Like somebody in a cover 2, cover 3, you got to understand the art of getting in certain spots and holes in the defense. You don't have to run. Look, a guy like Jacob Tammey, for example, the dude ran like a 4.8. But this dude had 40 catches for like 5-7 years straight. Wasn't fast worth a damn. He wasn't quick worth a damn. But he understood that he had to have a chemistry with his quarterback in order to catch passes. It's about the chemistry and the timing when it comes to route run. Like Tyreek run the same route that Kyle Pitts runs. The same thing, those seam routes and those drag routes, crossing routes across the middle. That's how he's able to get so many. And when he catches the ball, like he's one of the best wide receivers. I'm glad you said that, Floyd. Tyreek, he'll run the same routes that he does. These are not different routes. So you don't tell somebody they need to stop doing what they need to do better. The fact of the matter is, Kyle needs to sit down with the quarterback and get on the same page with the quarterback. That's what he needs to do. No matter route running and going to route running school and all this shit, it's going to guarantee you to be on the same page with your quarterback. This is why having meetings, quarterbacks taking their receivers, running backs, tight ends out and practicing with these guys is so important, because it's all about timing. Because if you don't understand that your quarterback likes to get the ball out under 5 seconds, it don't matter how well you run a dig, or like what Noah said, a fade. None of that matters, because the quarterback like to get the ball out of 5 seconds. So if he like get the ball out of 5 seconds, your ass still running down the damn sideline, what is it going to mean? You're not going to touch the ball. So it's about chemistry. It's about the timing. This is what the art of route running, this is what the art of the passing game is about. It's not about route running. Okay? To prove this even more, I keep bringing this up. It's a clip where Matt Ryan and Tony Gonzalez sitting on the sideline. Sitting on the sideline. Matt Ryan walks up to Tony Gonzalez. You don't think Tony Gonzalez is one of the better route running tight ends the game has ever did? What did he do? Made a mistake. He made a mistake, and Matt Ryan said, stop fucking around and get to the spot. The ball is going to be there. Why? Timing. It had nothing to do with Tony Gonzalez's ability or inability to get to us, to run a route quickly or run the route this way. It's about the timing. If you get to a spot, if you understand what that quarterback is thinking when he's in the pocket, he like to get the ball out within 3 to 5 seconds. Most quarterbacks like to get that ball out without make a decision within 3 seconds. So if your tight end up here running a damn route and he not understanding the situation that this team is blitzing, he gotta call that off. He gotta call that route off, which is called a hot route. So this is what goes in when we talk about the art of the passing game. We get all this route running bullshit. All that is secondary to the chemistry. All this route running and running this run and running, having footwork out of your all this bullshit. It's very important to a certain extent, but it's bullshit. Because you got to understand when this blitz is coming, I ain't got time to run fucking crisp routes. I need to get my head around so my quarterback don't get his fucking head blown off. It's not the same. Route running and timing are not the same. You got guys that are able to use their body better. They're able to use their foot quickness. They're able to use their speed better than others. But the art of the passing game is all about timing and the chemistry with the quarterback and the receiver. What? What? So you're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong when they're talking about route running. Route running means nothing if the timing is off. I keep telling y'all, it's not the route running. It's not a lot of these people's issues. It's about timing and chemistry with the quarterback. If you don't have timing and chemistry with the quarterback, you can run all these crisp ass routes, but it don't mean nothing. If your quarterback can't trust you to catch the ball or get to a spot, it means nothing. Southside, that's what made Matt Ryan and Julio so deadly. If you think Julio was done on most of the routes, he wasn't. He had to cut them off because Matt Ryan was in trouble. And again, all this route running, you can go to route running, tight end, and all this bullshit, but none of that matters if you don't have chemistry and understand your quarterback's quirks. That right there is paramount. The art of the passing game, it what gets guys yards. Yes, you do have guys that run routes better than others. Yes, you do have that guys that can get to a certain spot faster than others. But when it comes down to it, it means nothing if that quarterback can't trust you to get to a spot and to trust you to actually catch the ball. It's all about trust and chemistry. So we don't need to add more receivers to what we have already got that. Like I said, we just need to establish a chemistry. That's why we got to make sure that this is why making sure the quarterback is comfortable first and foremost is the most important. So if the quarterback isn't comfortable, we saw it last year with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins wasn't comfortable because he had an injury. And for the most part, like, certain guys became his comfort because he couldn't move around. So he would look to certain guys to just get the ball out of his hand. That had nothing to do with Ray McCloud being a better route runner than Kyle Pitts. It was the fact that he became Kirk Cousins' go-to guy because that's who Kirk was comfortable with throwing the ball to. He was comfortable with throwing the ball to Drake London more. It's about the comfort and the chemistry. So Everybody, there's no such thing as wide receiver routes and all this nonsense. Everybody run the same routes. It's just certain route receivers run those routes because they're faster. It's about their abilities and their skills. Kyle Pitts just so happens to have the ability to run those routes that they usually leave to wide receivers. So that's why they asked Kyle Pitts to do that. He has that ability to run those routes better than some receivers, along with the height, the size to go with that. So, like I said, we can sit up here and talk about route running, and this guy need to go to tight end, you or wide receiver, you or what? Oh, he need to work out with Jerry Rice. You can do all that, but if you don't have chemistry with your quarterback, none of that matters, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now. As a quarterback, like if I know this guy wasn't gonna catch the ball, he got butterfingers, 9 times out of 10, if I see him open, I'm taking off. As a quarterback, I'm running, because I know 9 times out of 10, this motherfucker gonna drop the ball, and we need to make a play, and we need to get a first down. We need to get closer to the first down. So, about to go on. The AFN International guys are about to go on at 3:30, 10 minutes. So y'all head over. Southside, it's funny you said that shit. Sounds like Devin Hester. You don't think Calvin really can run a dig route or a crossing route? Yeah, he can run them. But Matt Ryan stopped throwing that shit inside because he knew he wasn't going to go in the middle and put his body on the line. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Matt Ryan did not want to throw them dig routes to Calvin Ridley because he knew he was going to, look, what was going to happen with him? He was going to get alligator arms. He was going to short arm that shit. So it had nothing to do with ability to run a route, because Calvin really could run those routes, but you couldn't trust him because he was gonna get alligator arms, or he was gonna slow down and go the opposite damn way. He knew if he threw that bitch to Julio Jones, them dig routes, them crossing routes, Julio gonna eat that shit up, and he was gonna make a play. So he had confidence in Julio to be able to do that right. He could just throw the ball up and Julio was gonna come. It's all about confidence and chemistry. God, all this route running is all cool and good. It's reasons why guys like Julian Edelman, my honky, Lad McConkey, why these guys, they run a 4.4, 4.5, but they so good because they willing to put their body on the line and they catch the ball. It ain't because they the greatest fucking route runners. It's that the quarterback can trust him to catch the ball. Danny Amendola, like those guys weren't the fastest. They weren't the quickest out of breaks. I just knew Tom Brady knew when he threw that shit to him, they were gonna catch it. Brian Harlan, yep. Like a lot of these guys aren't fast and quick as. They're not the fastest, the quickest route. They're not the best route runners. They knew, Russ Welker knew if he get to a spot in X amount of time, Tom Brady was going to throw it to him. Drew Brees was going to throw it to him. Phillip Rivers was going to throw it to him. They knew that. They ran the same routes over and over again. Everybody in the universe knew they was gonna run that route. So again, don't let these people tell you that because guys don't have the greatest feet out of a break and all this type of shit. Like look at Mike Evans. Y'all think Mike Evans run great routes? He run the same fucking routes over and over again, but he out physical guys. The physicality was what makes him great. His chemistry with look, quarterbacks know if they throw it to this spot, Mike is gonna he's gonna get that ball. It's the confidence, it's the chemistry that goes with it.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good. Breeze today.
Mm-hmm. How you doing?
Good. I like the Falcons.
But yeah, you guys can head over to Atlanta Falcons Nation International. It'll be pinned in the comments. Sorry for that long pause, but getting ready for the AFN International show that's coming on at 3:30 in a few minutes. How many minutes? Yeah, actually 3 minutes. But like I said, I totally understand why footwork is important. Not saying the basics of football is not important, but when you talk about games and in game and why some guys that practice better than others, yeah, you can practice better, but if you don't have chemistry with the play calling and chemistry with the receiver and chemistry with the offensive line, none of that matters. None of that matters whatsoever. Okay? None of that matters whatsoever. So I appreciate everybody for joining us. Head over to Atlanta Falcons Nation as well as AFN International. They got to do a show at 3:30 in a few minutes. So that will be pinned in the comments. So with that being said, I am out of here. Truly appreciate it. Tico, I'll give this real quick. Got to create separation to help out the quarterback. Running is important, but you don't need as much. Look, you do. That's very important. Okay, I want to end it with this because again, people think route running, creating separation, all of that is important. But more importantly, over all of that is chemistry and trust. I have to trust you as a quarterback that even if you create separation, you're gonna catch the ball. This is why a guy like Devin Hester never really articulated as a wide receiver because he wasn't a great catcher. He didn't catch the ball. Devin Hester was fast, quick, all of that. But he lacked those receiver instincts in order to become a consistent one. That's why he was more so a special teams guy. Okay? He's more of a special team guy. So with that being said, I'm out of here, man. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you, Tico. Tico 850 Southside. Y'all head over to Atlanta Falcons Nation, Atlanta Falcons International. They'll be in the pinned comments after the video. I'm out of here, man. Peace.